Hey, everybody, and welcome to Humorist Hangouts. I am Marty Dunnick, editor-in-chief of Weekly Humorist magazine, and this is our Humorist Hangouts, which is basically just to hang out with a bunch of comedy creators and people from Weekly Humorist. And it's Friday, and people that have nothing to do are usually the comedy, art, nerd people. And I'm lucky that we have one of those comedy art nerds here tonight. We have Ivan Ehlers, who is a wonderful humor illustrator and writer, cartoonist for The New Yorker, Mad Magazine, and Weekly Humorist. And hey, Ivan, how are you? Happy Friday.
Hello. I'm doing fantastic. Thank you so much for having me, buddy.
This is our first Humorist Hangouts on this restream thing. So what this is it lets us go live videoing to YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, all at the same time. And then people who are watching at any of those places can use the chat feature on those respective places, and all of them come together, and we can see them here in one place, supposedly, if anybody's watching, which they may not be. And if we don't see any chats popping up, we won't assume that no one's here. We'll just assume that the technology is failing and that they are very upset that we can't see them. There are many chats that are coming through right now. But when they do come through, we can pick the ones we like and we can put them on the screen and we can highlight them, the nice ones. The mean ones we will not highlight. And that's pretty much it. And then other people are supposed to join. They may not because they got plans. Kit Lively was supposed to be on this, as you mentioned. And he's not here because he texted and said, "Oh, I forgot that I have plans tonight." I think he's washing his hair, even though that he's bald with a mighty goatee.
He's washing the other hair.
He's washing his other hair. Very good. That's disgusting. Thank you, Ivan.
He has to do it once a month or the crabs come back.
Nice. So you're in Weekly Humorist this week. I think this will work. Can we do this? No. Oh my God, I'm going to have a seizure.
It's like we're at a rave, though. Makes it seem more fun.
I'm gonna try. There it goes. Oh, there it is. That looks much better. So this is this week's issue with a big cartoon by Peter Cooper. Can you see this, Ivan?
Yeah, I see the top of the cartoon. I think you might have to scroll a bit. There you go.
Yeah, we have to scroll. I was just waiting for your reaction.
Oh yeah, what a consummate
Of the
professional.
cartoon.
I can't believe how many cartoons Peter Cooper does.
Peter Cooper's wonderful, and I talked to him on the Cartoon Pad, which is another podcast with Bob Eckstein and Michael Shaw, and they talk to cartoonists. And Peter Cooper was just on last week, and he does so many cartoons, and they're so good. And his process and his style is so specific and unique to him, and it's always like 100%. You know, like,
oh yeah, absolutely.
It's never like a little sketch. It's always like a finished piece that's like, everything's done 100% with these textures and these colors.
Yeah, the colors. It's not a black and white wash, which is super easy. You have to find the colors to match and everything. They always look great.
So this is Peter. This is a guy in a boat, and they're about to go over the waterfall, and he's the one guy is the holdout not wearing the life preserver, and it says still not up for wearing it. And Peter's great at this. He's been really good at political action and environmental action, and just if something eats at him, he gets it out by making cartoons about it, and then just spreading those cartoons far and wide.
Oh yeah.
He gets very passionate. So it's great having him as a contributor. This is yours at the top of this week's issue, Ivan Ehlers with a written piece. Yeah. I like the Ivan Ehlers written pieces. This is how to direct actors, which is so funny.
I don't know if you knew this about me, Marty, but before I was a struggling and mostly failing cartoonist, I was a struggling and complete failure of a filmmaker.
I did not know that about you. I did not know that you were also a failed filmmaker.
Yeah. It was my first major failure. Well, I was a failed painter first, and then I was like, "Fuck this! I'll be a filmmaker." So I did like a bunch of short films, and I did one feature-length film that we shot over the course of like 10 or 11 months, just a weekend at a time, and I like it, but I think nobody else did. So, but
Were they all comedy? Were they all comedy films?
No, like the first few were very serious attempts at like cutting edge avant-garde filmmaking. You know, like stuff that was made in France in the 60s. That I'm
Okay.
like, new here. And,
Excellent.
yeah, but I made a lot of music videos and like a bunch of like the budget never exceeded, like that feature film was under $10,000. You know, so I learned a lot of how to work with actors, and
that's what came out here.
and
We'll come back to
I give it
this.
to you all for free. You don't have to pay for film school. You just got to read that one article.
This is Bobby Armstrong wrote a really funny thing about the American healthcare system, and it's all about the character in this piece only specializes in treating left feet, just left feet. This is Kate Itonita. I don't know how to say Kate's last name because I've only emailed with her. But I'm going to say Kate before I butcher her last name. Kate wrote a really funny piece about popular romantic comedies written for 2021, and those are very environmental. 500 Days of Summer might convince people that climate change is real. There's something about Mary that makes you think she's the kind of person who'd fill up plastic bags with gasoline. 4 maskless weddings that led to at least one funeral.
That's a good one.
That's a great one.
Yeah, that's a nice line right there.
We had a great magazine parody by Paul Lander and Kit this week called Rude Book instead of Red Book. And my favorite is 12 Ways to Find and Keep Unattractive Friends to Stand Next to.
You know, I like the technology that you used for that, where you had like the text scrolling up onto the image.
I did that for Instagram.
Yeah, that was fancy, man.
Fancy. Pretty fancy.
I was impressed.
Thank you. This is a great cartoon by Nick Greenberg and M.R. Miller. And this is the dog saying to the other dog, we really should walk him more. And it's just a really skeezed out guy. This could be many of us.
He's doing something right, though. He's got very nice, shapely thighs.
He does, and they're presented very nicely. This is the advertisement for the event that we are currently on now, Ivan. And where I said this, we got to keep those expectations low, which I think we've done tonight.
That's the only reason why I joined this, because I knew the expectations were in the gutter.
Just down, you know? But currently, we have 4,000 people watching right now.
Is that so?
Oh, no, I'm wrong. It's 2 people. There's 2 people watching right now.
But if they tell all their friends, and they tell their friends...
And no one's in the chat, but that's okay. I'll try the chat. Hold on. Nope, no one there. No one's in the chat. But if there were people in the chat, it would show up there.
They're probably a bunch of illiterates.
That's why they like hanging out with the Weekly Humorist people. So it's
we speak their language.
We definitely do. This is The Secret to Tom Hanks is Cool by Michael Rousselet. I believe how to say it's Rousselet.
You know, I did a piece with him in Mad Magazine.
Michael Rousselet is a new writer for Weekly Humorist, and he's a Mad Magazine guy, so I'm excited to have him.
Yeah, he wrote one and I drew it.
We have a chat, Ivan. Justin Avery Smith is watching. Thank you, Justin Avery Smith.
He doesn't believe that there's another person, and frankly, I believe him. I'm on his side.
You're probably right, Justin Avery Smith. He's the only one here. Justin Avery Smith, by the way, was in New York City, and I'm sorry I didn't get to meet you for coffee. Next time you're in town, we will get coffee, and I will buy that coffee. And because he was nice, and he asked me to hang out last time, and I was unable to meet him. But next time, he will. I think Justin's up in Boston. But he is a big player. He plays on the Humorist Hashtags games every week.
Oh, yeah.
Very funny. Really good joke writer.
I can never come up with anything for those things. I'm horrible at puns. I always see you guys spin all these out, and I'm like, I don't know. Nothing comes to me. I don't have the pun gene.
It's hard.
Pun gene.
Oh, this was a quiz: pizza cutter wheel or doctor's head mirror, and this was a funny article by Robert Chris. Very clever. He's nuts, and his stuff is very, very absurd and fun. This is a great cartoon by Nathan Cooper. Do you know Nathan Cooper, Ivan?
No, maybe. I don't know.
I've committed to hanging out with Justin Avery Smith. He's in Worcester. You know, Justin, my buddy Peterman runs the Worcester Bravehearts baseball team. And he's like a local hero in Worcester. I have a bobblehead of my buddy Peterman.
Is that a minor league team?
This is a minor. This is like a even minor league.
Really? That's so cool, man.
And this was Peterman bobblehead night, and he recently fell off my shelf, and it broke his hand off.
Oh no!
I know.
How did it fall off?
I don't know. I think it was. I think it was a poltergeist because there's a Marty bobblehead next to him, and my head got completely smashed.
We're gonna have to see a close up on that, man. That looks great.
But the whole head is like there's no head anymore, so my brain fell out.
And that's when you decided to start Weekly Humorist.
Yeah, my whole brain fell out, so that's how that happened. So this is Nate Cooper. I liked his stuff today. It has a guy screaming into a pillow, and it says, "See, I feel bad for the pillow. That's why I lay with it all day." That's what the cat says.
That's cute.
Snake.
Empathy.
We had Snake a sitcom for this week's hashtag game, and we had Laverne and Surly, Fresh Off the Bite, Serpent Strangers, and more. We had Rosanna Conda, which is, I think, probably the best one.
That must be the best one. That's very good.
Our Humorist Books bookshop store was featured on the homepage for Bookshop. So we have a group of books called Funny Books by Funny Women, and we have a book by Jen Spira that we like that's on our list. We have Sarah Cooper is on our list.
Oh,
we have Ginny Hogan's on our list.
Oh yeah, I know Ginny and Sarah. And then
she's very funny. And we have Jessica Delfino, Melissa Bauman, and Marty Nelson's all on our list. And this is featured all week on bookshop.org's homepage, which is pretty great.
That is excellent. Yeah, they're all funny.
And then this was last week's issue. That's in print. This is a great cartoon by Dalton Vaughn.
Oh, yeah, you got Dalton on the cover. Very nice. Talented illustrator dude.
Absolutely. Oh, what I wanted to do, and I don't know if you'll do it. But the stakes are pretty low, Ivan, because no one's watching. But I thought that, have you ever done a reading of something that you've written?
You know, I have, but this is so long. I don't think it'll work.
Maybe we'll pick a highlight. What's your favorite section?
Yeah, what's my favorite? And there's a lot of big words that I've never actually said out loud that I just don't know if I pronounce them right. Let's see.
I think I'll pick out my favorite.
Yeah, pick your favorite. I like the improvised one too.
I think my favorite is on directing supporting actors.
Now you're about to find out why I never made it as an actor. You know, I had a friend of mine that when I was in community college, that he was like a bit player in soap operas, and he got the hookup for me to go in and read to go become like an actor as well. And I did such a horrible job. The script was like, it was something like this, where I was like, my back hurts still. And I was like, my back, it still hurts. Like, what do you think? And he was like, well, you got a good look. I could put you in the background for something, get a better headshot. Because I just printed my own headshot. And
he's like, you get to be in the movie because you're tall and your shoulders will put you in the back somewhere.
Yeah, you could stand behind someone and do this. But yeah, I'll read one of these here things. So this is on directing, supporting actors. Should I just go?
Yeah, just go. Action.
Action. Contrary to what their paychecks would suggest, movies are not just made of stars. Actors in supporting roles are either up-and-coming bit players hoping to become movie stars, or over-the-hill movie stars looking to prolong their last fleeting moments of fame. Regardless of which side of the chute they land on, it is imperative that you remind them at every opportunity that they are not the stars of this film. The director is the star of this film. Is that how you heard it in your head?
That is exactly how I heard it in my head. Maybe with more, maybe like I was thinking, maybe like a French angry drunk director with like a cigarette. Like, no.
You know, I often will like read it aloud to see how it flows, and record it. And I was trying to do it in like a fancy boy English accent, and it was so bad, and it took forever. It was like a 14-minute recording, and I was like, mental note: never do English accent.
I thought that was great. I think you did a great job. I think your next step will be reading a whole article in front of a crowd. They do humorous reading shows in New York all the time, and they do them in LA. I know that they do them in LA.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that like the thing like Emily Flake does that, right? With like comedy reading and stuff?
I know James Folta does. He puts on a show called A Night of Humorous Readings, and they do that at a theater called Caveat in the East Village in New York City. And Emily Flake reads, and Jen Spira reads, and tons of people, Ginny Hogan, tons of people from the New Yorker, Caitlin Kunkel. People read from people McSweeney's, people from the New Yorker, people from Weekly Humorist. Like every comedy website has usually people doing readings, and they're so funny. And it's fun to go to those kind of things just because you get to meet the writers. Many times the cartoonists and the writers don't really get out and be social that much. So events like that. And I know that they have an event like that in LA, and it's run by a woman that now runs a website called Funny-ish.
Funny-ish.
It's like another comedy site, but I know that she puts on a live reading show in Los Angeles area.
That's cool. I'll have to scope that out. Yeah, I always feel so bad when I see all this fun shit happening in New York. I'm like, God damn, I'd like to be around there. But
I know, and you always think that, but then if you're actually in New York, you're like, I don't feel like going out.
Yeah, well, absolutely. That's what it is in LA too. There's so much happening all the time, but
especially in LA, because you have to like drive places. You're like, I don't feel like.
Everything is much farther apart than it is in New York.
Yeah, New York is so nice because you can hop in an Uber and be there so fast, and then or just take the subway and be there so fast, depending. Though, it's been flooding, so there's that.
Yeah,
there's things like that.
That'll slow you down a little.
So, Andy Newton is here. Andy Newton, how long have you been down there?
Only a few seconds.
Okay, I didn't scroll.
I wanted to be passionately late.
I didn't scroll down, so I didn't see anyone. It doesn't tell me when people join who are guests, but
no,
I scrolled down.
Joined. I was pulling up the Weekly Humorist website to look at.
Look at this guy.
Doing a Andy Newton. Let's see, you're like, shit, I better read this magazine before I.
Yeah, I better catch up on this. Yeah.
Better pretend I've heard of it.
You got some good stuff though, Emily Flake. You got some Mike Reese this week.
He's just paying attention. He's just catching up on the past couple of weeks. Ivan Ehlers is in this week's issue. The Ivan Ehlers. He has a #1 piece on the New Yorker right now, and he also has a piece on Weekly Humorist that's getting almost as many hits.
Hey, we have no way of knowing.
Though I don't want to play favorites, but I think the How to Direct Actors might be better than the Signs You're Getting Old.
I really like that on directing piece, and I had some help from a lot of like really, really, really funny people because I thought it was so good that I asked a lot of really funny writers to help me with it. And,
who did Lars help you?
No, I asked Sarah Hutto.
Oh, Sarah Hutto's the best.
She's so funny. She's
so
the
funny.
Funniest person I know. And Alex Watt, you know him?
Yeah.
Mr. 10,000 Steps, Stepdaddy himself.
Stepdaddy. I follow that Instagram.
Yeah, he's so fucking funny. And Asher Perlman.
Oh, I
They
love
all-
Asher
They all
Perlman.
gave me their 2 cents, and you reaped all the rewards.
I do. I didn't even remember. Like, I was so dumb. I'm so bad at submissions that I accepted something that you actually submitted either earlier or later than that piece. And I looked because I was like, I have to put something up. I want to put up Ivan's piece. And I picked the wrong one and I posted it. And I was like,
Really?
wait. And I was like, wait, I didn't accept this, even though I marked it to accept it. I was like, I never told him.
Oh,
So then I
that's
emailed
funny.
you and I was like, this didn't get published in the New Yorker already, did it? Because I just
Yeah.
published it.
No, I saw your email and I was like, I don't know. I forgot about this. So I'm glad you found it.
Okay, so now we have a comedy panel because Andy Newton has joined us. Hello, Andy Newton.
Hello.
Andy Newton has some time off because he got out of going to a wedding this weekend. Yes.
Yeah. I love like the joy of canceling plans. Like it's like now that the pandemic is over, you know, because we all have to like get used to seeing people again. I'm now like on
Yes.
the other side of that again, you know, and now
Oh, yeah.
enjoying canceling on people. Yeah.
It's no bueno.
No bueno.
Canceling is bueno.
It's canceling is great when it's no one's fault. Like a plan just gets
Yeah.
canceled and you're like, oh gosh, no
Oh,
one
yeah.
could have foreseen this, and I'm so sorry I can't do it. But I guess now I have free time.
Yeah. You know, we did have a fun LA hangout last night, though, with cartoonists.
Who?
Oh,
Well, you just mentioned Lars.
Okay,
who's
I like the Lars. He's fun.
Maybe my favorite cartoonist out now. Just the best dude around. Lars, you know Lonnie Millsap?
I don't.
He's in the New Yorker a lot. And Diffie.
Oh, I love Diffie.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so funny.
Yeah, we have a little thing every now and then. We meet up for drinks and in a nice bowl of spaghetti and meatballs.
Diffie's such a good artist too.
Oh, he's great. Everything
I
with
have
the 6B pencil.
I have an original Diffie pencil cartoon in a frame in my apartment that I got because I signed up for his newsletter.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's great.
When he
You
first
want it?
started his newsletter, I don't know, years ago. And he posted either on Facebook or somewhere. He was like, if you sign up for my newsletter, I'll send you a cartoon, an original cartoon.
Oh, wow.
And he got immediately inundated with so many people
Yeah.
that he quickly was like, "This, I've made a huge mistake." And
so that's a high
he just-
reward for it.
I think he had to send out like thousands.
Was it a cartoon that like ran?
I don't think so.
That's wild.
So I have an original pencil drawing. It's a angel on a smoke break. So it's like an angel with wings, naked, but you just see his back, and he's like on a break, and he has like a lit cigarette like at his side, and it just
That's
kind of looks
great.
like he's kind of like slumped.
That's
He's
really
just
funny.
like, it's really
Yeah.
funny.
I can see it exactly in my mind in his style. That's
So,
great.
Okay, so I have panel discussion questions in this humorist hangout that we're doing.
let's do it.
It's low stakes. It's just
Yeah.
we're just hanging out. Okay. Oh, I have graphics that go with my questions. Okay, so your humor influences. So Ivan, you have been in the Mad Magazine, the New Yorker, Weekly Humorist, all these places, and you didn't start drawing right away. You kind of taught yourself to draw when you had like a leg injury, right?
Yeah, well, that's when I got into digital drawing. But I mean, I always just drew on my papers.
But you're self-taught.
Yeah, just self-taught. I had a long meeting today, and over the phone, and these were my notes from the meeting. So it's just like a bunch of drawings. So that's how I lived. That's how I made it through school. Like not really paying attention that much and just drawing. But yeah, when I busted my Achilles tendon, and that's when I learned. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you get it.
That's Ellis. I was on a Zoom with Ellis Rosen.
I could see that being Ellis.
Oh,
That's
that's
nice.
good likeness. Yeah.
He's got great floppy hair.
Yeah, he's got wonderful hair.
Great hair. As you get older, you start admiring other men's hair quite a lot.
Yeah.
And you get very jealous of their hair. You're
Yeah.
like, God, that hair is so thick and luscious.
I've never been one of those guys, but I am now. And I just go, what do you do?
Yeah.
How'd you get this hair?
How'd you get that hair?
How'd you get it? How'd you get it? But yeah, no, I for cartoons, I would always like draw, just like fuck off with drawings and such. And I only started doing cartoons when Trump got elected. And I went, fuck this shit. And that's when I started. And that was it.
That's similar to how Ron Hagee started doing cartoons again. He was a big Simpsons guy, and he was, he had been a cartoonist for years, but he hadn't done it for a long time. He had mostly retired, and then Trump got elected, and he just restarted immediately, just like, and that's similar to Peter Cooper.
Yeah.
Instagram cartoons really took off. Yeah, like my dad and my brother were tuned into those before I was even. They were sending me the Ron Hagee cartoons.
Oh really? I love Ron. He's like he cuts to it like exactly what you're trying to say. And what's this that we have here?
Look at that.
Oh, hey. So you were the one who bought a copy.
People bought copies.
Yeah, people got it. Yeah.
I bought 2.
Oh, then you got them both. Yeah.
They were both. Yeah, no, he's like I suppose the proper word is incisive. He really hits it square.
Yeah, even when it's like to a point too that's like sometimes like to like a. I think he uses like absurdity to that end.
Oh yeah.
Well, where like when it's like the quickest way to like the point is just some like.
Take it to its logical end.
Yeah.
That's where he begins.
He's great. He's so clever, and he got in the New Yorker recently with a great. I think it was like a board game type cartoon.
Yeah, well, he did too,
funny.
and he did, and he came up with the idea for one of the covers. The one with the polar bear carrying ice. I think that was with John that he did that, but he like kind of came up with the idea for it, pitched the idea, and John drew it, and those.
Have you done any color cover mock-ups for the New Yorker?
Oh yeah. I just sent one in this week. I send one in like every few weeks, and I get a response like 1 out of every 5 times where they go, "No, thank you."
What's the process for that? Like, who do you send them to?
You just have to send it to the art assistant of the art director, and they tell you, "No, thank you, we're not interested." But usually it's like it's like a lot of stuff. If you send out batches and they're no good, you don't hear anything back. And so I think my style isn't quite there. But
what was the idea? What was the strongest idea so far?
I had one that was. You remember this was when Trump was like exerting his dominance over all of Senate and stuff. This is some months ago, but you remember they had that blow up balloon of him as a baby. They were doing in England.
Yes.
So I did one like that. It was basically the same concept, that it was a balloon, but it was him in his suit, and it was flying over the White House, putting it all in shadow. So it was basically like, he's still a caricature, a silly caricature, but he's still controlling everything in that area. And
did you do a cartoon like that for me?
I had one with the balloon where he was like, "These idiots, I have more chest hair than that."
That's right.
Like
That's right. I knew I had that cartoon.
Yeah, that was a really funny drawing. But yeah, and the recent ones were just kind of like really nice drawings. I feel like you would appreciate it. You're a good illustrator yourself, Marty.
You do very good drawings. When you were trying to do like a very precise type of drawing, you can pull it off. Like you don't have to.
Yeah, it's when I have more than 45 minutes to draw.
Yeah.
But I'll
I
send
mean-
you the drawings later. I don't know. You may like them. They're just like nice drawings. They don't have great ideas behind them.
I'm trying to find the one that you did of the Trump baby. Maybe I went past it. I have so many cartoons. I accepted a bunch of cartoons last night. I was on like a cartoon bender, and because I was looking for, It's so hard sometimes because you see something and then I can't find it in my email after even if I mark it like I flag it, and and then I can't find it, but I like found the cartoonist, and then I couldn't find a cartoon, and I ended up looking at like all of these cartoons that this one cartoonist has sent me that I have missed. And I was like, oh no. I was like, this one's actually really funny too. This one's really funny too. So I emailed this guy and I literally accepted a cartoon that he had sent me 2 years ago.
2 years? I thought you were talking about like 2 or 3 weeks.
Well, I was looking for a cartoon that he had sent me in July.
Oh.
And then when I, did the filtering and I really drilled down to like, I found a lot more emails and I was like, oh, he sent me a bunch of stuff. And a lot of stuff I missed because I think people send me stuff that are like maybe I'm BCC'd on, like it's a list of people.
Oh, really?
And I found a couple of things because I was like searching for this one cartoon, which I thought was very funny. It's kind of dumb, but I mean, I like kind of dumb stuff. And then in trying to find this dumb cartoon, I found a bunch of cartoons that were actually much smarter. And I was like, oh no, this one's really funny too. And it was literally 2 years ago. And I wrote back to that email and I was like, looks great. We'll take this one. And he wrote me back today. Like the next morning, he was like, thank you so much. I thought he was so nice about it. He wasn't like, God, what an asshole.
Did neither of you acknowledge that it had been 2 years?
No.
That's so funny.
He just let it roll.
I sold a piece to Mad Magazine that I had pitched, it very early, and all the editors rejected it. And then about like 2 years later, people going through all the rejected stuff hit me up and were like, hey, is this still available? We love it. I was like, yes. But then Mad went under, and so they bought it and never ran it. So it's just sitting in some horrible limbo now.
Soon.
Yeah.
Justin Avery Smith has a chat. Trump's election was how I basically started comedy in general. That's true with, I think, a lot of people were influenced so hard that they had to actively do something, so they just started doing comedy.
Oh yeah.
I think in addition, there's also just a factor of there was such a boom in like demand for print comedy after Trump's election that there were just so many more opportunities than there were a few weeks before the election, and that sort of carried through all 4 years.
It's true. It's harder. It's harder to make jokes when you're just
McSweeney's. McSweeney's added the like timely submissions, email or whatever. It was in response to Trump, essentially.
Well, just enraged so many, with me specifically. And I was like, I have to do what I can. And
this is a great.
Line is on his neck.
This is a great cartoon by
yeah.
Ivan. This is a very well drawn cartoon. Like, look at the detail on this. I love this.
Yeah, that seems almost similar to your style. I could see you doing a watercolor drawing, kind of like that.
Yeah,
that's funny.
I like
the
use of the hard line is such a good. I don't know. It's a good it gives it more like weight the way that you've outlined pieces that are more important. It's almost like what am I thinking of? Drew
Struzan?
Not Drew Struzan. Drew Struzan, who's the Indiana Jones poster artist, who very heavily influenced me being interested in art. Drew Friedman.
Oh yeah.
Drew Friedman, he would do a body like this.
Great. Yeah, he does great characters. Yeah.
When I first was pitching to Mad, one of the art directors, Bern Mendoza, said that I was I was like if Drew Friedman and Mort Drucker had a son.
Wow.
I said, that is a fine compliment.
That's a very good compliment.
I'll have to show you this, man.
It's Mort Drucker right there.
Mort Drucker
Drawn by
Drew Friedman.
Drew Friedman.
Yeah. Damn nice. I haven't found a frame big enough for it yet.
That has to go up in the office.
Yeah. One of these days. Instead, I just have it in nice pieces of cardboard.
Okay. So I had little questions. What other comedy stuff? Andy Newton, what comedy inspired you to write your book? I have your book.
The book specifically?
I have your book right here. This is from the campaign trail or thereabouts.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And the sequel to this novel is coming out from Humorist Books.
Very nice.
Yeah, I mean, I think I think I started sort of getting into comedy when I was young, like watching old like Mel Brooks movies and stuff. And then, then like in high school, I got into Kurt Vonnegut, and we like pass around print issues of The Onion back when you could still find print issues in the Bay Area.
Mm-hmm.
And and read the articles and point out the lines that would crack us up and that kind of thing, and do the things that you and your high school friends do of just like repeating those lines back and forth, constantly until they become like a language that you speak.
I remember it was this Comedy Central just used to be Benny Hill and Kids in the Hall reruns, and Ab Fab and old SNL, and it was just like all comedy reruns.
I loved all the I used to watch
MST3K.
Yeah, I used to watch a lot of those afternoon marathons like that, like Carving, Mike Myers, era of SNL comedy. These are those on Comedy Central.
Okay, so what have you had as a undiscovered comedy gem that you found recently, and you binged it, and you're like, I can't believe I missed this the first time around? Have you found anything? Because I found that I was like digging deeper because I watched everything that everyone was talking about, and I watched everything that I should watch on Netflix or Hulu or whatever. And I had to like keep on finding stuff, so I had to get like recommendations. And Kit Lively got me on a show that's not that old, but I feel like it didn't make a splash, and it was called Resident Alien, and it's on Sci-Fi. But you can watch it on,
I saw that.
You can watch it on Peacock. This show is so funny.
I just saw an ad for that.
I know your uncovered comedy gem, Marty. It was those 2-year-old cartoons you found in your email.
Ooh, yeah.
I've been rewatching. Well, I saw that they added Venture Brothers to HBO Max.
Yeah.
And I realized that I was like really into Adult Swim in high school, college, but I realized I'd only seen like 2 seasons of the Venture Brothers and had no idea that they did 7 seasons of that show.
That's a lot of seasons.
Now I'm like in the 4th season, and it's like it's great. Because when in the first 2 seasons, I always sort of just, when I watched the show originally, I was like, oh, it's like a Johnny Quest like static farming cartoon, action cartoon sort of parody, but it really like goes and gets into like the whole kind of comic book world parody of like the sort of like 60s comics, and the like they get deep into it. I like a parody that can last in the TV show format like that. They can do enough episodes where they can also do a lot of like actual world building, in the show.
I've never actually seen any of those episodes. I might have to check that out.
They're good. They're funny.
I binged all of Rick and Morty during COVID. I had watched a little bit of it, and then I watched all of it, and then I watched it over again, and now I'm watching the new seasons. And I cannot believe how smart that show is. It's insane to me how smart that show is, and how just like deeply creative each episode is. And then the what's the show on Hulu? That they also make
the same guys, the Alien one.
Yeah,
Yeah, I saw that one.
Oh, Solar Opposites.
Solar Opposites.
Solar
Yeah,
Opposites,
that's
yeah.
great.
That's a great show. I love all the in the wall stuff they do on that show. So funny. The tiny
The
people.
in the wall stuff
Yeah,
is great.
yeah.
Those are great. I love those.
You know, I saw 2 recent television programs, Rutherford Falls and Reservation Dogs. Have you guys seen that?
I
Those
just
are-
watched the trailer. I just watched the pilot for Reservation Dogs.
Yeah, such a
Yeah,
good
I liked
show.
it. Yeah.
Is that good?
Yeah, Reservation Dogs is so funny and
What's
sharp.
the premise?
It's like a bunch of kids growing up on a reservation that don't have a lot of money, and so they have to try to raise money by hook or by crook to get out of town and get to California. But it's like just covers a lot of stuff that happens on the reservation, and it's really interesting. It's like Taika Waititi created and produced and wrote a lot of the episodes, and it's just so good.
So it's a
And the
much
pilot-
funnier version of Yellowstone.
Yeah,
Which,
I never saw that.
oh God, Yellowstone is so dramatic. It's insane. It's so over the top, crazy, murder. It's just like nuts. It's like
Is,
The Sopranos on a ranch.
Really?
Is that the one with Kevin Costner?
Yeah, it's so good. You got to watch that. It's on Peacock. There's
Yeah.
3 seasons of that.
Oh,
Kevin Costner
yeah,
is
I
on it.
saw the trailer for that. No, I didn't see any of that at all. I never liked
And the
dramatic television.
It's funny. It definitely has humor. It definitely is like, but it's over the top dramatic.
Ooh. Well, I'm gonna have to split off. I see my dog doing crazy things.
Ivan
And
has to split
about
off
to get
his
food.
dog.
But this was a pleasure, man. Thank you so much for.
This was fun. I think we're
Yeah.
good. I think we've had a good amount of humorist hangouts for today.
Did we have anyone beyond Justin Avery Smith?
There's 3 people that just aren't typing anything, but I appreciate Justin Avery Smith for commenting.
yeah, it's a lot of pressure, like being one of the few people watching a live. I've been like a single person on a lot, like watching a live before, and it's like I felt like I had to entertain the person.
Yeah.
And I'm not even on camera.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that anybody is watching this at all, but I am even happier just to have the two of you here chatting away anyway.
Well, thank you, Marty. You
until
make it all
next
happen,
time,
baby.
we'll see you
Yeah.
next time. Enjoy the Weekly Humorist issue, and thank you, Ivan and Andy, for coming, and have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you.
All right, bye, guys.
Be good out there.